Hi, I'm MTK, and today we're going to take a look at the Rocky Point Recharge Zone from just outside its border. This small area of urban wildlife that we're studying. This is De Zavala Road, and recently it was widened up to 5 lanes. That took about 3 years to accomplish. It runs from here to I-10, which again, within the last 10 years, and this was a massive project, was widened to relieve the pressure of traffic. Just past this Walmart, they've constructed a system of reservoirs and aqueducts in each of the corners of this area to allow all the water to run when it flows into a channel that goes into our recharge zone. Our recharge zone is just on the other side of this stand of trees. It is an intricate and very impressive system, and we'll go down there and take a look at the end point of it, which is here at the base of the Walmart parking lot. We were just up there. Now we've come down to where there's I-10 and the De Zavala intersection. This is the system of reservoirs and ducts that have been created. Now, this is the point of origin for the water that enters the Rocky Point Recharge Zone. It's a reservoir and duct system that is placed at the foot of the Walmart parking lot. These areas were the compromise that was made to allow the development, in fact I would say the rampant overdevelopment of the northwest side. You can see here, gravity is what is supposed to make a lot of this work, and when it works well, it does a great job. The water is pulled into the channels that the architects have designed. It is stored in reservoirs to allow pressure to push the water through, and it makes its way through the channels and into another duct system on the opposite side of the street, where it meets the water that has been running all the way down from the top of the hill off De Zavala into the same cement duct system, which leads into the Rocky Point Recharge Zone, which is just there across the street. Now, this has been an incredibly impressive feat, and all of this has been accomplished within the last 10 years. The trouble is, during drought years or extended periods of very, very hot weather, which have happened here many times. In 2011, for example, we had 51 straight days of triple-digit weather. The concrete does not really allow the water to flow so much as give it a place to lay while it dries in the sun, which happens rather rapidly. And in those kind of years, the recharge zone really suffers. Let's take a look at it from the other side. The reservoirs where we just were are down there, and the hill comes up, and you can see the immense concrete infrastructure of the I-10 West, the Interstate Highway 10 East on the opposite side, and all the development that has happened here. And our field, the Rocky Point Recharge Zone, the RPRZ, is right there. Because of these slopes and the design of the series of ducts, the water travels across all of this asphalt and concrete into the various reservoirs and is meant to be ducted into the system, which goes toward the Rocky Point Recharge Zone to feed into what is functionally the Leon Creek waterway. But as you might imagine, all of this asphalt and concrete has prevented a tremendous amount of water from actually reaching the recharge zone. And in periods of time when it's extremely hot, the water evaporates rather quickly on all of this, and very little of it actually makes it to the recharge zone. We used to go bowling here. This was all trees, no malls, all trees reaching toward my elementary school and my high school, which are about a quarter mile down the road. It's the last stretch of land for these animals, these birds, living amidst massive urbanity. We can drive through the University Bowl parking lot and take the back way to get down to the field. And this will show you some of the industrial parks that were constructed. Here we are on the back roads here. They're already doing more development there, as you can see. And all of these small industrial parks are the ones that border the edge of the Rocky Point recharge zone. They were constructed at roughly the same time. And in fact, the land in the wood, which is basically worthless, it's in the floodplain, is owned by the people who own this area, the Farranon Development Park, I think it's called. When you look it up on the tax papers, see, this is Farranon, the road that was put in here when I was in elementary or middle school. These development parks all came with sort of enough edge area to allow for this duct system to be put into place and further encroachment to happen, basically year upon year, as we grew, if you will, out here on the northwest side. We're going to take a look at the field that we call the backfield, which would be down here. Yeah, I remember this being empty for years, and so there was no traffic here. But this is all asphalt parking lot that has reclaimed what would have been, you know, valuable recharge zone. We've reduced our area to be called the Rocky Point recharge zone because that's really all that's left of it. So let's jump out and take a look from right here. This is what we call the backfield, and that what we call the glen. And this stand of trees, what stands between us and all of that urbanity, it's so close by. It was so loud there, and now we're just not even a quarter mile away, and our drainage creek bed, which is just over the backfield here, and the backfield, and the circle, and the bridge, and the creek, and the wood, are all of what remain, and these two are not even protected. So, meaning the backfield and the front field. This is an example of the ducting system here. You can see that was built behind this business that they've created to allow water, right, to get into a series of concrete ducts that feeds our creek. The architects and engineers really did create a system that prevents flash flooding amidst all of these businesses and parking lots which have level surfaces and areas for pooling. They created a method whereby the water can flow very effectively into the recharge zone. But we get now into the question of the quality of the water entering the recharge zone as well. As you notice in the reservoir across the street, it was filled with detritus and garbage from the Walmart and from the neighboring businesses. The same is true in the HEB parking lot. And you can imagine the other things that are entering from all of the traffic, the cars, the exhaust, the oils. The question of the quality of what is entering the recharge zone could very well be considered in any study of the RPRZ. At this moment, the glen is a functional filter in that way. A natural filter which captures small pieces of trash, garbage that gets tossed out of a window but in a car just over Days of Allah there. It'll get caught in these trees and these brushes and so on. But without regular kind of cleaning or something like that, it's just going to remain until it decays. Here's some more of the drainage you can see going into the thing right there. Now you see the hill going up. You see the stand of trees next to it, right here. You can see the widened Days of Allah. Each of these sort of systems is designed with this purpose in mind. Now these areas are great. The only reason they exist, though, is because no one has yet decided to own these other empty lots. I am talking about preserving what remains because I think what should have been done was more preservation a long time ago. Here again, an open lot that's very helpful. Right? That's an open lot that's very helpful. But I'm not anti-development, and who knows how long that'll stay that way. We approach, you can see the traffic circle. This is the end point of Rocky Point Road. And our creek bed, the glen, the back field, the circle, the front field, and the wood. As you go back up into that wood, this area connects with thin strips of land that are unusable land. They're in the floodplain that are owned by various interests for different reasons. That particular one that I'm talking about, just in that wood, is owned by the Farallon complex that I took you through just now, because it was parcel to their method for buying and developing this land way back when. Adopt that for care, adopt this for care, adopt the creek bed for care, adopt the circle for care, adopt the backfield for care, adopt everything from the sidewalk and from the fence and from all the edges of this, going up that creek bed until it reaches the Leon Creek waterway. Then we would have a successful green belt. Now that's years down the road, but it's practical. And so I, MTK, am calling this the RPRZ, the Rocky Point Recharge Zone. It's here in District 8, Northwest San Antonio, Texas. The Rocky Point Recharge Zone.